All right, so here we're taking a look at Google Accessibilities for Accommodation. Here we're looking at how we can support all learners with our Google Accessibility tools online. So first I want to start off here with a video.
And a story like this comes along and it really makes you feel something. I want you to see Jules Hoogland. She is a junior and plays basketball at Zeeland East High School in Michigan. Jules also happens to be blind. So when she played in the last game of the season, she got an assist. 2,500 people in the packed gymnasium went completely silent so she could listen for the tapping on the rim to know where to aim her shot. Watch and listen to this. It gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? What a moment. Hoogland plays on Zeeland's unified sports basketball team, which is made up of students with and without disabilities. Hoogland has close to a 4.0 GPA and says that she is working on learning how to live independently. And her mom says that she hopes her daughter's strength will inspire others. It certainly has done that.
Wow, wow, wow.
And a story like this comes.
So first off, what are some thoughts regarding the video? Please discuss with your teammates for 2 minutes. What challenge did the student face? What did the staff member do to assist her? And how did the video make you feel? Please share with the whole group when the 2 minutes is up. Alright, so we all need to tap on the hoop. Many students face challenges in the classroom, and we are the ones who help them achieve success. It's our duty to assist all learners, regardless of their abilities, and there are so many technological tools available for us to use to assist students. As of 2017, each student has a Google Chromebook in our district, and we can use Chromebooks to help each student. This professional development will detail the accessibility features on Chromebooks that can help diverse learners in the classroom. For today, you will be using district Chromebooks, and you will also need a pen to fill out an exit ticket and reflect on a session at the end. We can start off by please sitting with our grade level team members. Alright, so here's what we'll learn today. In this professional development, you will learn how to access and use the built-in accessibility features on Chromebooks, as well as how some teachers are using Chrome extensions to customize the learning experience for their students. Overall, this is going to help us deliver better instruction that's geared for our students using technology. Let's start off by brainstorming for a bit. Work with your team members. Discuss ways to accommodate for the following learners described. This first student here has a visual impairment and is having difficulties viewing text on their Chromebook. This next student has motor challenges and is unable to complete their paper in a timely manner by typing or writing. Finally, our third student has hearing loss and is unable to hear the student or their classmates, and they don't have a translator available. So think about what could we do for these learners. Alright, as for students with visual impairment, here are a few options that we can utilize that are Chrome extensions on our Chromebooks. First off, we have Braille display. So if we click on this video here, we're brought to a Google for Education video, and it's a step-by-step way
Using a
of how to
connected
turn
Braille
on our
display
Braille
lets
display.
students read text output from a computer using their sense of touch. As you'd probably guess, this can be really beneficial for low vision and blind students who read Braille, but I've also found that kids are really interested in watching their classmates use the tool, which does a lot for teamwork. Braille displays also work with sheets and slides, but for now, let's just walk through how to use it with Google Docs. First, you're going to want to make sure the Chromebox screen reader is turned on, which you can do through the Chromebook accessibility settings or just by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Z as in zebra. With that out of the way, go ahead and navigate to the Tools menu in Google Docs, select Accessibility Settings, and turn on Screen Reader Support and Braille Support. And that's it. You can use the cursor routing buttons on the Braille display to move the cursor like this. And you can still use your Braille display for a lot of the screen reader and Google Docs keyboard shortcuts that you might be used to, like making text bold with Control-B. You can also adjust a handful of other Chromebook Braille settings in the...
All right, I'm going to pause there. So that's just one example of the many tools that we can use. We can also use high contrast themes, magnification, highlights, and Chromebox screen reader. Now, this doesn't just work for students with visual impairments. Personally, I'm wearing reading glasses along with my contacts, and sometimes I still have trouble seeing. So this can be useful for us as adults. It can be useful for really any students that maybe just like to have larger text, or they like to have more contrast between their background and the text on their screen. So really any students can be utilizing these features. And so let's think back to our first scenario. What can we do for the student that has visual impairments? Go ahead and discuss with your group. All right, next, for students with motor challenges, we can utilize keyboard shortcuts as well as voice typing. In keyboard shortcuts, we can use things such as Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, Control-B to bold, or Control-I to italicize. And these are features that are going to make it a lot easier for students where they don't have to use their mouse here and constantly scroll up to the top, go to the bottom, go to the top, go to the bottom. They can just quickly highlight and they can hit the Control-C or whatever it may be, and it'll make writing their paper a lot faster. Also, we have voice typing. So if a student is really having a difficult time typing, maybe they aren't very familiar with home row and they're kind of just picking with their fingers, or they really truly do have a motor challenge, voice typing is a great option. And it still allows us to see what they know, and it gives them equal opportunity to demonstrate that. But it also allows them to do it in a timely manner where they're not going to be frustrated because they have a hard time typing. So those are two wonderful features for motor challenge. So what can we do for the student here? The student is having trouble completing their paper in a timely manner by typing. What can we do? All right, moving on here. For students with hearing loss, we can use closed caption. Now this is one that really can work for students that are trying to learn English or English as second learners or secondary language. And so closed caption is a great option. We're all familiar with that. Something I actually like to use just in general in most videos that I watch.
The closed captions feature on Google Slides automatically generates on-screen captions as you're going through a presentation. This is really helpful for our students who are deaf or hard of hearing, but it's also equally valuable for kids who are learning English or have attention issues. One of my favorite things about this feature is that it can actually filter out certain words. So if you use a lot of pausing words like ums and uhs, or if one of your students tries to throw out a naughty word, they just won't show up on screen.
All right, so there's another example of using closed captioning, and as described in the video, this is great for students even if they kind of go a little bit slower with their words or they use ums and ahs. It's not going to pick up on that. It's going to filter it out, and it's going to show up on their screen just as they would want to type it. So it's very similar to if you have a texting app and you're talking to your phone. Very, very useful for any student. So let's think back to the student with hearing loss. What could we do? All right, so now it's time to familiarize yourself with some of these features that we just discussed. Please grab a Chromebook and test out your skills. All right. If you want to view the features we just discussed, please use this link right here. So what we've covered so far is Chromebooks come with a variety of built-in accessibility features that you can use to make your students' interactions with their devices more engaging. Chromebooks have features that may help students that are low vision, blind, hard of hearing, have limited motor functionality, or just need assistance reading and processing information. And so what I'd like to deliver before we get out of this exit ticket is that implementing these accommodations for all different types of learners is going to make our instruction better, right? When we teach to the needs of our students, they're going to have a more enjoyable experience. They're going to have a more beneficial experience. They're going to learn more and feel better about it because they can show you how much they've learned. And so it's important to utilize the resources that we have. We have the Chromebooks. We have the multiple tutorials on how to access these features and use these features and customize the experience for our students. So, with all of that in mind, we can use technology to meet the needs of all of our students. This will help us be better educators. And it'll also support our school mission and our school goal. Right? We're here for each and every student. We want them all to become college and career ready, whatever it takes. All right, so let's take those extra few minutes and learn about the tools that are going to help our students the most. All right, time for an exit ticket. Please answer the questions on the exit slip to reflect on the session and to provide helpful feedback. Please do not write your name. I appreciate your time and participation. I really enjoyed being able to share this information with you, as it better prepares us for accommodating all learners. Remember, let's all be the ones tapping on the hoop for our students. Thank you. As far as our follow-up and accountability plan, you will receive a survey in a few weeks asking about your application of accessibility features in the classroom. All right, so please let me know how you have found this to be useful. And like I said, it's not just for students that have disabilities. So if you don't have students with disabilities in your classroom right now, see if there's some students that just want to use these accommodation tools just in general. Maybe there's some students that really enjoy having that closed caption on their screen. I know there's quite a few, including myself, that just enjoy having it on the screen when they're watching TV or a YouTube video. So I'm sure there's a lot of students that are in that same boat. Next, you and your grade level team will work at your next team meeting to discuss which students would benefit from the accessibility features. So this goes back to what I just mentioned. Maybe you have some students that very clearly would benefit from something like enlarged text, or being able to have a contrast from text to the background because they have visual difficulties. But hey, maybe there's some other students too that you just find really enjoy it. Add them to this document, and it's going to tell all the other teachers on your team, oh, this student enjoys this feature. This is what motivates and encourages this student to do their best. All right? So please utilize the shared document indicating what students like to use, and could even include how it has helped them. All right, so that's it for me. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully that these tools will be useful for you in the classroom, and let's do our best to support each and every student. Thank you.